These are all very valid questions, and maybe my perspective on Fear of God Athletics and their official drop for December 3rd arriving to the world, maybe it's a little shocking to some of you, but I said in my initial video, hopefully you caught that. If not, the link is in the description box below, that I wanted to give my thoughts and perspective as someone that is a very avid, dedicated, loyal fan to Fear of God itself, Essentials. I love how Jerry approaches things in alignment with the direction that he sees. He is very open about his faith and letting whatever it is that is speaking to him through his purpose and his gifts from God to be out there. And I love that about him. However, in terms of what he may put out in terms of his direction and under the branding, I, as a consumer, can also look at myself and say, well, how much in alignment is that with what I intend to do with these items? And that's what we'll discuss today. So the very first video I did just gave a rundown and my thoughts on the GQ exclusive interview he did with Samuel Hines. You can go ahead and check that out. But there were some parts that I wanted to save for today because I felt they deserve their own video. And that's really diving into the individual pieces themselves and what he states the focus was for putting this out. In Fear of God Athletics, it's not supposed to be about the hype or collabs or lifestyle, but for actual sport. And as you saw in the intro, a lot of people are curious what sport is happening. Now, Jerry mentioned baseball and he mentioned basketball, and seeing players on the bench, like you got to have your swag in line, even if you're on the bench waiting to go in. I agree. I want to look good too. The tunnel fits for NBA, WNBA, NFL, they have all captivated us. There's an entire league fits page on Instagram in which we can look at the style of these players, whether it's them styling themselves or they have professional stylists that are on payroll for them. Hey, great, because yes, I'm inspired by some of the things that I see, but I also have to bring it back to reality. These are star athletes. These are professional athletes. That runway is kind of like a movie set in which they can be very over the top. Some things can be dystopian. It doesn't have to really be pragmatic to everyday life because they don't even live like the rest of us. They are pro athletes. Like, don't ever compare yourself to a pro athlete in like anything, because you are setting yourself up for very unfair judgment and comparison. I'm just gonna put that out there. So I love looking at them and I'm inspired by them. Like, the women can dress their asses off, okay? Like, if the WNBA, if it was in the fall and winter, the looks they would give with the boots and the layers and the textures and the coats, they would serve looks all day, up and down. But those are athletes. And so hearing Jerry say that he's picturing in his mind like the whole lineup of these baseball players and basketball players being in this, I could see that if maybe you were there. Why can I also see that? You warming up and like a $400 item that you are going to sweat in and need to launder a lot, that's fine. That's like a drop in the bucket for you. I don't know that the average consumer, and I'm going to state the average Adidas consumer that is typically going to the brand, they're going to Three Stripes for their athletic needs. That's not what they're used to. This is going to be far outside their comfort zone and the price point of what they're used to. And if that is the intended target, which I don't think that it is, it's going to miss there. Now, if you are someone that you already are very, very familiar with, and you're also in the tax bracket to be able to afford without debt, Fear of God mainline, that means any of the collections that have dropped, okay? You were purchasing Eternal in 7th, and you went, you were there for 6th and for 5th. Do I own items for those? Absolutely. Have I paid full price for them? No, I have not. I have not paid full price for a single designer item that I own, and a lot of them are right back there behind me. There are videos here on the channel in which I waited for deep discounts. I'm talking 60 to 70% off, because even at 50% off, your mainline items are still going to run you about $400 for one singular piece. Now, that could be that really nice piece that you go to for any statement look that you want, even though they will look like neutrals and everyday items that should just go with everything. But that's not the point. Stay with me here. You may be okay with that. My question to you is just an everyday consumer. Would you be okay with that if you know that you were intentionally going into the gym to sweat? Like, I sweat a lot for cardio, for warm up, when I'm lifting. I sweat a lot. I can't personally see myself in most of the looks if we're talking athletics. Now, there is one look, and I said in the previous video, that blew me away. I love it. I absolutely positively love it. The model killed it. The look is something that I could see myself in. With the goggles, probably not. I don't snowboard yet. I would love to learn how to snowboard. I don't snowboard yet, but her look screamed athletic to me. And strong and literally just ready to be about business, okay, on the court or on the slopes, wherever it may be. But for everything else, I think those were valid questions for people. So that target audience, to me, if you were to ask, hey, what do you think the target audience is if you're looking at Fear of God Athletics from a design perspective, but then if I'm looking at it from the price perspective, because I'm going to throw some prices up here. So shout out to Jim, you guys already know, jm.toh. You can follow him, okay? Go and follow him on Instagram. He will keep you up to date with some early looks and then just the details that really will matter. He'll point out some things being maybe a little bit more oversized, maybe the materials used, when we can expect some things. Like, I really appreciate that. And then close up of the different colorways that drop. Like, that is useful, valuable information. I always appreciate him sharing that. I always make sure to shout him out and give him credit here on the channel. So we were able to see some of those prices for the Fear of God Athletics line. And I can firmly tell you, I myself have never spent that for something that I know I am going to run into the ground in the gym. Now, maybe I gym, maybe my fitness, maybe me being athletic is a little bit different than some others who are athletic, because I'm probably still not considered the typical mainline shopper. I will say, in my mind, this could be unfair, but in my mind, yeah, they're a different tax bracket. Like, they shop a lot of designer, and that is more in line with their everyday life. It's not for me. I'm not someone that just walks around dropping $500-$600 on pants. I don't. I'm patient and I wait. So even for Fear of God Athletics, I would be patient and I would wait. Are there items that have caught my attention? Absolutely. I like the sleeveless tank that we saw for one of my favorite looks. I like the idea of just the minimal style t-shirt. I like that. And we're seeing a lot of different items. Like, I want to pull these up for the vid right now that you've already seen here on screen. So initially this week, ahead of the Fear of God Athletics Drop 1, Jerry Leaks posted prices. However, these are not accurate prices. They're actually a little bit less than that. You can be the judge personally if these prices sit well with you or not for the individual pieces, but the prices here are higher than what the official prices are listed. So let's get into those for at least Drop 1 and what we know so far to release to the public. Let's start first with the Fear of God Athletics 86 low, inspired by the Rivalry low, which also debuted in 86. You have Talc and Sesame as the two different colorways. Retail price is $200 a pair. I am very interested in that, and likely the number one item I'll go after this next week. The Fear of God Athletics 1 basketball pair is pictured on the upper right, priced at $250. Now, I've heard that's an Atmosphere Experience exclusive drop and potential colorway, so you may not see access to that for the public, but the $250 price point is accurate. If you recall Pusha T wearing the goalie jersey during the Hollywood Bowl show, that's priced at $400 retail. And then you have the Fear of God car coat at $600. So two of the pricier items from this Drop 1. There are a few different pants options at various price points. You have the Relaxed trouser, which has brush fleece on the inside and a different, more nylon material on the exterior. Those are priced at $300. And then you have the suede sweats priced at $280. But you also have the heavier sweats that are priced at $200. So keep that in mind. And the 280 sweats, they have different piping on the sides. The Fear of God Athletics Los Angeles, a runner model, is exclusive to the Atmosphere Experience. So unfortunately, that will not release to the public unless you are at one of the various experiences in selective cities. And that is priced lower than the 86 low. I believe it's possibly $170 from what I've seen. And then you have the stretch woven hoodie. It has the scuba neck. Do with that what you will. It's not always my favorite element on hoodie designs, but that's also priced at $200. The priciest items by far, the Fear of God Athletics duffel in black and also in sand. The black is priced at $1,200, but the sand is priced at $1,500. The polar fleece options can run a little pricier than some of the stretch woven material. As you can see here, the polar fleece hike half zip is priced higher, and then you also have a track jacket. Now, the one item here that I've seen a lot of commentary around, the Fear of God Athletics Adidas slide at $100. So it does appear quite similar to the original Adidas slide with Fear of God branding on it. I have not seen this in hand, so if there are any differences, unfortunately, I can't speak on those, but for those who attended Atmosphere, maybe they can shed more light on that. By far the highest priced items will be the bag. So you have the crossbody bag, which is also priced higher. It's below the duffel, but it is higher than any of the apparel. You have the women's hooded bodysuit at around $300. And then we'll cross over into just looking at the very final pieces. So there is a mock neck that you have available. I personally am not a fan of mock necks, but I know they are a staple in a lot of Jerry's deliveries. So you will have the mock neck, and then you guys can also see the heavy fleece sweats at $200. And then also the heavy fleece hoodie marked at $200, and another Athletics One basketball in all black. For the average consumer that is not already consuming fashion house like prices, I don't know where they're going to stand there. Catalog of what Jerry offers. You have mainline prices, you have essentials prices. This is where Fear of God Athletics is coming in. That third pillar is right in the middle. It's not hitting mainline prices. It's not, because mainline prices for sweats, you're looking at about $700, $600 to $700. So you're not hitting that. Let's move it on down. You're not hitting that. It's right in the middle. So it's in line. It's not going to be the $90, $95 that you're used to for essentials. And even then, people are very perplexed at why they may be spending that on a pair of sweats, which again, it's about the draping, it's about the cut, it's about the fit, it's about the material selection. You know that going into it. These pieces are not for me because, again, pragmatic, I don't see myself just wearing them in terms of my everyday style. This is where I think there may be some disconnect in terms of the average Adidas consumer or even essentials consumer, and then mainline, and then like runway and fashion. Because one reason you see so many athletes and essentials all the time is because it's something all of us are comfortable in. That's sweats, that's hoodies. It's something that athletes are in our entire lives. It doesn't matter if we're still playing. We played back in the day. Yeah, we're gonna rock a hoodie. We're gonna rock some sweats. We absolutely, positively will. So that is why I think you see so many in the essentials. You'll see a lot of pro athletes in Fear of God in mainline. That is right up there with what they can afford. The average person, based on this economy, absolutely, positively not. Okay, that's just me. So I'm giving you my very open and honest, candid responses here on these items and if I think they would work for me athletically versus just lifestyle. Like, a lot of it is, if it was for lifestyle, I think it would be great because, again, I'm not like overly sweating in things. If I'm just like going about my everyday lifestyle in these things, I think I'd feel a little bit more comfortable if I were paying the prices for this. But as it stands, like, no, I would not, because I don't work out in mainline things. Like, I have Fear of God t-shirts that are in there. I don't wear them to the gym to sweat in. Those t-shirts were still, I think, close to $100 each. Am I upset at the price? No, because I just don't think that I'm going to be that target person, even if I am a big fan of Jerry. I just don't think I am. And I think you need to have that honest conversation with yourself about athletics. Are you that target audience? You might not be, and that's okay. Nothing to take personal whatsoever. Now, when it comes to the shoes, there is another account that you guys can follow. I'll be sure to throw his profile up on the screen. So Jazzo, listen, over in the Philippines, and we have great early shots of that 86 low. That is the shoes themselves are what I'm very excited about to get on, because I own so much. Do we see this back here? I own so much Fear of God already. Enough mainline essentials items. I haven't even picked up the new stuff. I do have it in my cart in essence, and I'm thinking back now, like, there were times when I would just so casually drop $280 minimum early release. Some things have changed now. I'm a little bit more patient, but I have some things that are in my cart for sure that I would love to have with the new Heather colorways. But the shoes are what I'm more focused on, like the lifestyle pairs. Believe it or not, that Rivalry 86 low looks amazing. So we've been able to see more of these pairs in hand. You can certainly see it here on Jazzle. So again, I will throw these pics on screen just so you can get a really good look of them in hand. They look gorgeous to me. They are pairs that I could see myself wearing a lot, throwing on, and it's meant to be like everyday staples, right? That not essentials, but still meant to be everyday staples. So the shoes are the priority for me, dropping, not necessarily the clothing, because I'm just thinking about my everyday life, and I don't know that these items work in with it being athletic focused. And I know that is what Jerry wanted, and that's what he envisions, even outfitting entire like youth teams. Listen, I would love for kids to always look good, feel good, no matter what. And if he's able to bring us back to a shoe that is performing well on court, transcending off the court as well, then that'll be great. There was a time where Nike basketball did that a lot, and we're not really seeing that now. I think people maybe also forget that Dunks and Forums were at one point basketball shoes. Now they're just not thought of that because we have new styles that we can go to, but those styles do not transcend off the court. I fully think that his performance pairs can, from what we've seen, and I think the lifestyle pair is right in line if you love Adidas originals. If you love the historic models by Adidas, then I think like the Rivalry 86 low that he's going to put out, yeah, that's going to appeal to you. The same way a campus can appeal to you that has with Bad Bunny for so many of us. So all that to say, this was far longer than I wanted it to be, but these are my very honest, candid thoughts. I love the visuals. He told an amazing story. Like it's the production is insane. Some of those looks, they're great. People are getting their jokes off though, whether it's Dune, Star Wars. You guys have jokes for days. The internet will always have jokes. And I think that is one reason why, you know, no matter what, if you're a creative, have tough skin, which he does. He doesn't operate based on opinion. And he even says that it's conviction beyond opinion. So he's not going to let the opinion of people online, I'm sure, dictate the direction in which he wants to go with his brand, with his purpose, and the walk that he feels that he is supposed to walk. And that's how all of us should approach it. We should. That's how all of us should approach it. I will approach the Fear of God Athletics drop going for the sneakers that I'm excited to have. So please, I adore the support. What you will not see though is a rundown of me trying on the Fear of God Athletics items unless I am somehow blessed to just end up receiving them, because dropping the money on that, especially right around holiday time, I would rather drop that on the sneakers, because I know that I will get a lot of value out of those and wearing them versus how I approach my gym attire. It's, I'm just not quite up there where I would be comfortable. $500-600 in the gym. That's just me. I'm very curious to know your thoughts, so please be sure to comment below. This is such a long video. I feel like I rambled and rambled and rambled, but I appreciate you tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.